All right, welcome, folks. It is a beautiful day out here right now for some baseball on a Friday afternoon. Not a bad way to start your weekend. My name is Tyler Borbo. With me as a special play-by-play guest is Otis Wheeler. We're going to give you the play-by-play action of this varsity baseball game. Pioneer Panthers are hosting the Easthampton Eagles, the final game of the season. Not a senior night. They already had their senior night. This is a rescheduled game. And we are just about to be underway. Otis, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thanks, Tyler. Happy to be here, filling in for Lou Boudreau, our pro, who couldn't be here today. It's my first game of the season, so go easy on me, but it's a beautiful day to watch some baseball.
I am happy to have it, though. And boy, what a day to be out here. And, you know, it's great to tune into this, but there's nothing quite like seeing these boys perform live.
Ain't that the truth? So let's just get into it. Looks like we got Evan Tippanyuk on the mound for the Panthers, and we got left fielder Jason Sigda batting for Easthampton. He takes a walk to lead off the top of the first inning.
Of course, I'm leading off in kind by being behind in the count. But everyone's grown accustomed to the many arms that I have. At least it's not raining like yesterday.
Hey, it's just like sports. You got to warm up. That's what we're doing. We got a runner sliding into second, and he's safe. He stole second. Sigda stolen second for the Eagles.
Oh, excellent job. I think Easthampton knows that if they're going to have especially if they've been tuning into how Pioneer's been doing this season, if they're going to make anything happen today, they're going to have to play really, really aggressive base running.
Smart baseball. They're the underdogs, so they're going to try to get out ahead early if they can and put the Panthers on their toes.
And, you know, with a very intimidating 16-0 record, Pioneer coming into this, the Easthampton Eagles coming into this with a 5-12 record. But that doesn't seem too scary. But when you think they've been on a 4-game winning streak so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's nice to hear that. You know, you don't want to have they got some momentum going into the end of the year. So maybe if they got some young players, you know, they'll feel better going into next year. And who knows, they'd feel great if they pulled off an upset here today, I'm sure. So that was the shortstop Patrick Larson taking a walk because we had first base open. So Tippanyuk didn't feel bad about that. So now we got room for a force out or a double play if we can get the ball on the ground. And we got center fielder Jake Kostek coming up for the Eagles.
And, you know, Pioneer is in a very interesting situation here. Sigda stealing third, and
then Patrick Larson taking second on a fielder's choice.
So yeah, there's more of that aggressive base running.
That's a strike, low and outside. Just grab the corner.
And, you know, Pioneer coming into this game, they have a game against Drury, a huge game against Drury, what would be considered the game of the season. Tomorrow at Drury at high noon. And, you know, you got to make plans for that. You got to make plans for Western Mass. Pioneer definitely going to be the Class D #1 seed for that.
It's a ball high, and Kostek is ahead in the count. Fouled off again by Kostek.
Good job protecting his strike zone.
Yeah, he's just trying to get the ball in the air or on the ground, get those runners advanced. Another foul back. Got a ball high. And I think we got a full count there on the center fielder, Kostic. Ground ball, left-hand side, goes foul.
Interesting face-off between Tippenyuk and Kostic.
Yeah, oh, we got a ball high and a passed ball. Runners advance. Eagles score the first run of the afternoon and have runners on first and third.
Well, and with all the wind coming through, hitting our tarp, that's what all of that ridiculous noise is.
Hopefully it's louder for us than it is for the folks at home.
Well, I'm definitely thinking about taking it down in between innings because I put it up thinking that there might be some rain passing through, and I'm just seeing more and more blue sky as the afternoon goes on.
It's a perfect day for baseball from where I sit.
Absolutely.
We got a pitcher's conference at the mound. Obviously, Tippenyuk's having a little trouble finding the plate.
Well, you know, a little insight into throughout the season, you have kind of the usual bullpen that Pioneer has. Ethan Quinn, Jack Glazier, and Ben Werner. And all of those have either hit their pitch count or are being saved for another game. And so Pioneer had to get a little bit creative, and they do have other people that can pitch. We've seen Alex McClellan pitch. We've seen, I believe, Braden Tippenyuk, who's behind the plate right now, has even hit the hill. So,
oh, that's a liner right up the middle, and shortstop's got it, and the Panthers make a routine double play. They're making it look easy.
Well, another one has crossed the plate. Easthampton is sitting at a 2-run lead over the Panthers.
Yep, we called that a fielder's choice. The Panthers, you know, made the easy decision to get the 2 outs while they could. Let the runner come home and hope they can catch up when it's their turn.
You know, I will say it is a rare situation that Pioneers encountered being behind in the score. Usually they're the ones to be the first to put points on the board and set a very intimidating lead. This is an interesting turn of events early on in the game.
Tippenyuk tried to frame it, but it was a little bit low and outside. This is the Eagles catcher, Christopher Gallagher at the plate. Ball outside. Gallagher's ahead in the count. Ball 4. Oh, Gallagher takes his base. All right, stepping up to the plate now for the Eagles is Andrew Simelin. Sorry if I butchered your name, Andrew. He's the first baseman, batting 6th for the Eagles. Swing and a miss. Foul down the first base line. It looks like it's going to be fair. And the Panthers have it, and that makes 3.
Easy snag there by Hodis Hayfield Gerard.
Coming up into the bottom of the first. It's Eagles 2, Panthers 0.
We are going to take a short break, check out our sponsors, and we will be right back with more varsity baseball action right here on BNC TV. All right, welcome back. Bottom of the first inning.
So leading off for the Panthers, we've got Braden Tippanyuk.
Braden Tippanyuk takes. Oh no!
He got
actually
it.
Struck him.
Yeah, he's going to take first base.
Oh, that is a.
Well,
it's not the way you want to start off your first batter.
Probably not where he meant to throw it, I hope.
No, it's never intentional.
Never is. Next up for the Panthers, we got Jackson Campbell, the third baseman. He's putting down a bunt down the third base line. Fielder grabs it, throws to first, and he is out. But Tippanyuk advances to second. We got runner in scoring position with only one out.
Jackson Campbell, arguably one of the fastest players on the team, is definitely one that is no stranger to utilizing the bunt to get a batter in scoring position. And it has definitely been seen more than once him beat out those bunts.
It was a nice bunt, I got to say. It did the job. Now up, batting third, the shortstop, Alex McClelland. He took a ball on the first pitch, and he watches that one go by. Ball 2 outside. We got ball 3. It gets away from the catcher but doesn't go far. He picks it back up, and Tippanyuk stays at second. We got McClellan ahead of the count, 3-0. So you got to figure he's watching on this one. So it's up to the Eagles pitcher to throw a strike, but he misses outside. Walk to McClelland. Runners at first and second.
Definitely seeing a little bit of a repeat of the previous inning that Pioneer had right now. I think both of these pitchers are just looking to settle.
Yeah.
Settle into a routine, find their rhythm, and they can both get back into this.
For sure. It takes a while to warm up. Batting cleanup for the Panthers, second baseman Ethan Quinn stepping into the batter's box.
Quinn takes strike one.
Grounder gets past the second baseman into right field. Runners are advancing. Tippanyuk scores. Ball goes past the cutoff man, grabbed by the Eagles' third baseman, but Quinn was able to take second.
Definitely, you don't want to give any opportunity. Try and get a player out at second base and then allowing Alex McClellan to get home and tie things up. Pioneer has runs on the board. 1-run ball game.
Yeah, stepping up into the batter's box, we've got Ethan Mouthy, the left fielder. It's a ball inside. A strike caught the top side of the plate, so Panthers got runners at second and third with only one out here in the top of the first. That's a ball outside. It gets away from the catcher,
McClellan's
and
going to score.
We got one in, and tie ball game.
And Ethan Quinn takes advantage of that, moves over to third.
Yeah, Quinn represents the go-ahead run here. Of course, it's early, so anything could happen. Grounder first base side. Second baseman's got it, throws to first, but the Panthers have scored their third run of the game to go into the lead.
Definitely a worthy sacrifice there on that play.
Oh, absolutely. They'll take it. Yeah, Mouthy you don't get the sacrifice in the scorebook, but really that's what he did. By hitting it to the opposite field, the Eagles really didn't even have a play at the plate.
We got pitcher Evan Tipaniuk now batting.
That's a strike. Always love to see the pitchers facing off, something you don't get to see as much in the majors.
That's very interesting. And often, I feel like in high school baseball, very often pitchers are some of the, meat of the batting order on the team. They're just all-around athletes.
Yeah,
you can put them anywhere.
Exactly. It's not until later college, when they really start specializing. It's a ball outside. Ball in the dirt. Tipaniuk's ahead of the count.
Evan Tipaniuk, really, really smart ball player. Has a good eye for the strike zone. I think this is exactly where he wants to be.
Hit hard down the third base line, foul. Another grounder to the third base side. Third baseman picks it up for the Eagles and gets the out to end the inning. At the end of one, 3-2 Panthers.
Yep, Panthers taking the lead. We're going to take a short break, take a look at our sponsors, and we will be right back. welcome back.
Leading off the top of the second for the Eagles, we've got Ethan Mullally, the second baseman.
Two and two count for Mullally. And it wouldn't be a baseball game without our good friend the Wind doing play-by-play commentary for us.
That's a pop-up back to the catcher, and Tippanyuk makes the grab. One down. Next up for the Eagles, right fielder Bailey Davis. Fouled off down the first base line. Kind of a check swing there. It's a ball outside, 1-1. In the air to right field, and right fielder makes the catch.
There we go again. Hodis Hayfield Gerard making that nice play. Looked like it was coming down into shallow center field. Had a little bit of a hustle to get in there, but great job.
That's one of those hits that, you know, could have fallen into no man's land if they didn't communicate or were a little off their game. 2 down for the Panthers.
And of course, Mr. Gerard wanted to make sure that we explained. Says the grass is quite thick in the outfield, hence calling it hayfield. It's a hayfield out there, and that's why he is Hodis Hayfield Gerard.
Batting ninth for the Eagles, we've got the pitcher, Hunter Montalvo Green, at the plate. Caught the bottom of the strike zone there. Strike 2. 2-2 to Montalvo Green. It's a ball low. We got a full count here with 2 outs in the top of the second. Fouled back behind the backstop. Montalvo Green staying alive. Line drive to the outfield. It's a base hit, falls in front of the center fielder. Montalvo Green hit that ball hard, and he takes first with a single.
Great job by Montalvo Green, working that full count with 2 outs.
Yeah, nice ball, nice bit of hitting. He waited for his pitch, and he pounced on it. Back to the top of the order, Jason Sigda up for the second time in 2 innings for the Eagles. Takes a ball high for ball 1. Swing and a miss from Sigda. Tippanyuk's ahead in the count, 1-2.
Sigda was walked last inning.
And he nails this one to the left-hand side, and left fielder couldn't quite grab it, although he made a valiant effort. But we got a base hit from Sigda. Runners on first and second for the Eagles.
Well, you know, that is a tough call there for Ethan Mothy. It's one of those things you don't know whether to go down to go for the catch or set yourself up to receive the ball on the bounce.
Yeah, I mean, he probably could have he could have gone, like, if that had been the game on the line, he probably could have dove in for it. Maybe he gets it, but not worth the gamble this early in the game.
This one's
Crushed to
going
the
back.
outside, and that's a home run. That's a 3-run home run for third baseman Jackson Campbell, putting the Easthampton Eagles ahead 5-3 in the second inning.
Boy, what a great hit by Patrick Larson.
He really got all of that one. Yeah, sorry, I totally
That was
misspoke.
exactly what his pitch was. Easthampton back on top by 2. We got Jake Kostick now in the batter's box. A tough snag there. It's called safe.
And beat it out.
Oh, that was a tall order there. But even if they're safe, you can look on the bright side and not know that wasn't any wild throw to first and turned into 2.
No, did his best. Ground ball past the shortstop and into left field. All of a sudden, the Eagles are hitting the ball hard.
Eagles bats are just coming alive here in the second inning.
Took Evan Tippanyuk a minute to find the strike zone. He found it here in the top of the second, but the Eagles are coming back. We got a strike there. First pitch to Christopher Gallagher, the Eagles catcher. Ball outside in the dirt. Nice stop by Tippanyuk.
I think Evan Tippanyuk is really trying hard to just look for ways to drop that ball just inside or make him chase it just outside of the strike zone.
Yep, you always want to frame things for your pitcher. That's one of the things that makes for a good catcher. So Gallagher takes the walk, filling the bases, which means that the Panthers could get a force out on a ground ball. That's a ball high to Simelin, the first baseman. Full count with, bases loaded with 2 out here in the top of the second for the Eagles. Tippanyuk throws to third, and he got him. Nice move by Tippanyuk.
Great job by Pioneer getting out of that. A tough inning, but having bases loaded. Did a great job with that.
Bold move, but it paid off. After going into the bottom of the seconds, Eagles 5, Panthers 3.
welcome back, folks. Bottom of the second inning, Easthampton putting more numbers up on the board, taking the lead again.
Leading off the second for the Panthers is the designated hitter, Brody Welcome.
Now, Brody Welcome has been having an excellent season. Even as the DH, he has been proving himself, getting on base, connecting with the ball, just doing a great job.
I'm guessing he's a younger guy, but I like the stance on him. I like the look of his swing.
He does. He definitely has some baseball in him.
It's a ball outside from the pitcher.
And I will say, just the fact of having the ability to have a batting cage and being able to do batting practice is just so crucial for these guys.
Makes all the difference. It's ball low, 3-1 to Welcome. Welcome takes ball 4. We got the bottom of the third order for the Panthers. Stepping into the batter's box now is center fielder Ben Werner.
Ben Werner coming off pitching a great game against Greenfield at Greenfield a few days ago. Montalvo Green checking on Brody Welcome, keeping him honest.
He looks a little bit worried. Seems like maybe he thinks Welcome's got his eye on second base.
Well, we've talked about this during past games. Pioneer is aggressive base running, but not just aggressive base running. They have cultivated a team culture of trying to do everything you can to be a distraction in the peripherals of the pitcher and the catcher. And if that means doing a little jig while taking a lead, or just doing anything that can be a distraction and keep the players from focusing, then they're going to do that.
Yeah.
And
Welcome's already drawn 3 throws to first, so that'll tire a pitcher out after a while, and certainly will distract him.
And after Pioneer ending an inning on throwing out the lead runner and bases loaded, you definitely kind of have a taste for vengeance, understandably.
I hear that. Werner looks to bunt, but it's a passed ball, gets away from the catcher, and Welcome takes second. That's the best result there, because we get the Panthers get the runner along, but don't have to sacrifice an out in the process.
And speaking of distractions, another not just learning to bunt, but learning how to put the bat in a place where it can be a distraction in the eye line of the catcher. And I think
it's true.
Whether or not that was intentional, that is definitely what just happened, and gave Brody Welcome the easy take of second base.
Green steps off the mound. He's clearly still thinking about the runner on second. fly ball left field, and it falls in front of the left fielder. Welcome advances to third, and Werner is safe at first with a single.
Great hit there by Ben Werner.
Yeah, nice bit of hitting to the opposite field. Stepping up to the plate for the Panthers is the first baseman, Jack Glazier.
With Pioneer being back to being behind by 2, no doubt they're going to really step up their aggressive base running. And with an attempted steal, and the ball getting fouled away.
Yeah, so, Werner at first realizes that he can probably just take second. With the runner on third, the Eagles are probably not going to contest that. That was over the batter's head, and Werner took second. With none down in the bottom of the second, the Panthers now have the tying run in scoring position and no outs. Whew, that was 2 in a row, high and tight. But Glazier watched it go by, and he's going to take first with a walk.
Now, I'm wondering if that actually made contact.
Yeah, did it?
Because, well, if it didn't, there would have been a place for Brody Welcome on third base to try and take home.
Right.
That passing by, and I think
Yeah.
they were held there, so
Yeah.
it might have struck
Yeah,
Jack
I think
Glazier.
you might be right.
Which is unfortunate. You want to have that advantage.
Yeah, but still, bases loaded, no outs, nothing to complain about from the Panthers. And we're back to the top of the order with catcher Braden Tippanyuk at the plate.
Including, even after being struck in the helmet, Jack Glazier seems no worse for the wear. No complaints from him.
Happy to be on base.
2-0 count for BT. Braden Tippanyuk. I believe he was walked his first at bat.
It's a ball outside, and that's going to bring a runner home.
Yeah, no place to put him. This has now become a one-run ball game in the bottom of the second.
We got a little mini conference there, and looks like we might have a pitching change.
We are going to have a pitching change. And we'll see if they're going to start making some wholesale changes. Sometimes putting in another pitcher means there's all sorts of new positions. We'll take a quick look while they're not going to be back in their positions. We'll have to wait for them to go back.
Yeah, we'll find out at the top of the top of the third.
We're looking at Patrick Larson taking the hill, and Larson was playing shortstop, which until we see otherwise might mean that Montalvo Green will be taking over shortstop.
Yeah, we'll have to see when they're. Right now the infield's huddled together.
Well, and this is a perfect opportunity to, while the pitcher's warming up, to thank you for tuning into this game, whether you're watching it live streamed on YouTube, watching it broadcast on BNC TV HD 1075, or just checking it out later on. Happy to bring this to you, whether you're watching this in the BNC TV area or watching this down in the Easthampton area. Happy to have you tuning into it, checking it out. Thank you for your viewership, and I want to give a special thank you to our wonderful sponsors for the spring sports season. Sweet Lucy's Bakeshop, located in Bernardston, also located in Bernardston, Pioneer Valley Tire. Thank you for their sponsorship. Chaw's Convenience Store, located just over the Massachusetts-New Hampshire border on Route 63. And of course, our sponsor since the winter season, Jim Browning Jr. Trucking, located in Northfield. Thank you so much for your sponsorship, helping us bring great programming like this to the folks of the BNC TV area.
First pitch from the Eagles' new pitcher is high and tight for ball one to third baseman Jackson Campbell.
And of course, there's a lot of places on the field an umpire could stand. And just, it's amazing how it lines up sometimes.
It really is. All right.
Ball pops loose. Everyone is safe.
Yeah, that was a grounder to short, which kind of took a funny hop, and shortstop really had nothing to do with it. And another run is in.
We have a tie ball game, folks, in the bottom of the second inning. And you know, this is exactly why they talk about home field advantage. You know, like a pool table in your basement, Pioneer knows all the weird syncrasies of the lumps in the field and where the ball is going to take a bad hop, and stuff like that. And it's tough being an away team and coming in and getting a feel for the field. Alex McCollin, 0-1 count.
Fouled down the left field line, and the Eagles left fielder
looks like it's fair.
Couldn't quite make the catch, and yeah, it's fair.
Pioneer just circling and followed the wrong player. Looked like Jackson Campbell, as he was going home, is caught out. Great throw from left field.
Still, that was a triple that brought in, what, two more.
Boy, fantastic hit by Alex McClellan. He's been a clutch batter all season.
Ethan Quinn at the plate for the Panthers, fouled off behind the plate. Quinn singled and scored his first time through the lineup. It's a ball outside, blocked nicely by the catcher.
My apologies, the count is 1-2. It was wrong on the graphics.
Handcuffed, ball is in the air, and the first baseman's got it for the out.
And I think there was a little bit of confusion on how many outs there were. But McClellan stays at third.
Next up for the Panthers, Ethan Mouthy. That's a ball outside, and the catcher can't block it. And it looks like the Panthers are going to score their 8th run of the game.
Pioneer takes a 3-run lead with 2 outs in the bottom of the 2nd.
Nice pitch from the Eagles. That's evens the count at 1-1. In the air to center field. Center fielder goes back and makes the catch to end the bottom of the 2nd inning, but the Panthers came back. It's Panthers 8, Eagles 5 after 2.
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, more of this varsity baseball action right here on BNC TV. All right, welcome back. After a momentous 2nd inning, Pioneer with a 3-run lead over Easthampton. Evan Tippeniuk still on the hill, drops one in for strike 1.
Leading off for the Eagles, first baseman Andrew Simelin. Fouled back. 0-2. And that was a called strike 3. Okay. Nice breaking pitch from Tippeniuk. First strikeout of the game. Next up for the Eagles, second baseman Ethan Mullally. Ball high. Ball lone outside from Tippeniuk. That caught the outside of the zone for strike 2, I think. Ball outside, full count to Mullally with 1 down in the top of the 3rd. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout of the inning from Tippeniuk. Finding his groove here in the 3rd.
Absolutely. Evan Tippeniuk had a A little bit of a rough start, needed to kind of sink into his routine, sink into his comfort zone, and it looks like he's done just that.
In the air to right field, that's going to be a double at least, it looks like. Center fielder from the Panthers hits the cutoff man, but that's an easy double, stand-up double from Bailey Davis.
Boy, beautiful hit by Davis. Feel as though if the wind that has been plaguing us for most of the game had still been going, I think that would have been the extra oomph that it would have needed to go over the fence.
It could have been. You're right about that. And back up for the second time is Hunter Montalvo Green, the Eagles starting pitcher who exited in the middle of the inning, last inning, but is still in the game.
And we never followed up on it. We're going to have to do that next inning just to kind of see where Montalvo Green wound up moving to, whether or not it was third base or shortstop. We're pretty sure it was one of those.
Yeah, in the middle of the inning, we didn't have time to figure it out, but we'll update you guys. Green looks at a strike on the outside corner. Ball high, full count. Two down, runner on second in the top of the third for the Eagles. And that's fouled back, just caught the end of the bat.
Good job on Montalvo Green protecting that strike zone. I think that previous pitch before the count went full, Tipaniuk was really hoping gravity would take it just a few more inches and let it drop into that strike zone and catch him watching.
It's a ball outside, but first base was open, and Green will take it. Next up, the leadoff hitter for the Eagles, Jason Sigda. Sigda walked his first time up, hit a single in his second at bat, and scored both times. Lined right at the second baseman, who makes the catch. 3 down at the end of the top of the third. Panthers 8, Eagles 5.
And with a line drive to Ethan Quinn, closing out that inning. Pioneers still hanging on to a 3-run lead over the Eagles. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, more of this varsity baseball action right here on BNC TV. All right, folks. Bottom of the third inning. 3-run ball game. Pioneer up by 3. Pitcher Evan Tippenyuk to lead us off for the Panthers.
We've got some position changes from the Eagles after that pitching change last inning. We're not sure we've got all of them, but with Larson on the mound now, over from third base, we've now got the starting pitcher Montalvo Green on third. We've got Jason Sigda in center field now, moving over from left.
Well, looks like Tippenyuk thought about it, but good eye on him. 2-2.
Fouled hard down the third base line. It's a ball high, full count to Tippenyuk. Hard down the third base line and into left field. That's going to be a single for Tippenyuk. Evens the count at 2-2 to first baseman Jack Glazier. Runners on first and second in the bottom of the third for the Panthers. It's ball outside and we got a full count. That's in the dirt. Ball 4 to Glazier, loading the bases with no outs here in the bottom of the third. Back up to the top of the order, Braden Tippenyuk stepping into the batter's box. Tippenyuk has reached base twice and scored twice already.
Definitely reminiscent of the previous inning. Pioneer with very intimidating bases loaded, 1 out. And we are looking at the top of the batting order.
It's a strike, caught the bottom of the zone. That's a ball high, gets away from him, and Panthers are going to score another. All runners advancing. Panthers now have runners on second and third with Tippenyuk at the plate. It's a ball outside. Tippenyuk takes his base, and again the bases are loaded. Third baseman Jackson Campbell steps into the batter's box. Foul down the first base line. foul from Campbell with the bases loaded here in the bottom of the third. Hit down the third base line, play at the plate, and he's out. Nice play by the Eagles.
Boy. Great job at making sure that no other runs past the plate, gets themselves into the 2 outs where the next out anywhere can bring the inning to a close.
Now up for the Panthers, the shortstop, Alex McClellan. McClellan walked in his first at bat and tripled in his second and scored both times. This was another fly ball into the outfield, but the center fielder has it, throws to the cutoff man, but the Panthers are going to score. So that's
clearly I was wrong about the outs.
Yeah, you were just ahead, getting ahead of the game. That happens. But so that was a sack fly from McClellan. And we got the runner advancing on a fielder's choice there to second. We got Ethan Quinn up for the Panthers. Hit hard into left field. And that's going to fall for extra bases. Panthers are going to score another run on that, and that's a double for Quinn. He hit it into the warning track.
Great job by Ethan Quinn.
It's a ball high to Ethan Mouthy. We got Quinn on second, 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Mouthy fouls that one off, but he's ahead in the count, 2-1. It's a ball high, and Quinn takes third on a steal.
Interesting instruction to steal third with 2 outs and you have a 7-run lead.
Yeah, I think that's a, hey, why not type of a decision.
Yeah,
they're having fun with it here on this Friday afternoon.
Absolutely. When you have a few assurance runs, it makes sense to experiment, test, try things out.
So that's a walk to Mouthy, and the Panthers have now batted around, making it hard for me to score this inning. Thanks, guys. But, it's worth it. Nice throw to third from Larson. He really wanted to get him there. This is Tippanyuk's, like I said, second time at the plate this inning. He singled and scored the first time around. That's a strike on the outside corner. Jacked into base hit into left. And the Panthers are going to try to score two. There's a play at the plate. He's out. Panthers, like I said, they're having fun. They're being aggressive.
Now, is that first one counted?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Pioneer bringing across 7 in the third inning. We got plenty more baseball coming your way in just a moment. Check out our sponsors, see if Easthampton can get some rallying done, cover some ground. But we're going to take a short break. When we come back, more varsity baseball action right here on BNC TV. Welcome back. Top of the fourth inning.
Leading off for the Eagles, the pitcher, Pat Larson. Takes a strike up in the zone. Fouled off, clearly just protecting the plate. Grounder to second, and it's in time for the first out of the inning.
Boy, great job by Ethan Quinn there. It looked like he had a tough time fielding it, took an interesting hop, but kept it in front of him, made it real easy to gather it up and get it over there for the out.
Yeah, it was a hard hit ball, so nice play by the Panthers. That's a strike. For strike one to the center fielder, Jake Kostick.
Kind of a rarity to see the umpire, the plate umpire, come out and have a conversation with the pitcher.
Yeah, I missed it. I don't know what that was about.
To be honest, in just the experience of being out here with high school baseball, anytime, it's still super rare, but anytime seeing that, oh, and I guess he went down looking 2 down. But usually a conversation like that is usually because there's something in the form that has to do with your interaction with the rubber.
Yeah.
So,
yep. That's a ball high to D'Onofrio, the third baseman for the Eagles. Grounded, left-hand side, shortstop has it, throws to first, it's in the dirt, but Panthers make the grab.
and great job by the Panthers holding it to nothing, making quick work of the Eagles. Eagles will come back out to the field. Pioneer, after having a huge third inning, we'll see if they can keep those bats going. And we'll find out shortly when we come back right here on BNC TV. All right. Bottom of the fifth, top of the fifth inning, excuse me. Evan Tippanyuk.
Leading off for the Eagles, we've got the catcher, Christopher Gallagher. With Tippanyuk still on the mound.
Tippanyuk is still putting them away, and
that's a strike. No reason to pull him if he's, throwing strong like he is. It's a ball high.
And with a team like Pioneer, even if your pitching is throwing things the other team likes, the fielders are just making quick work out there, really backing up the pitcher well. Count goes full.
Gallagher nails it down to the third baseman, who throws to first and makes the out. One down for the Panthers. Nice play by, was that Jackson Campbell on third for the Panthers?
Jackson Campbell to Jack Glazier.
Thing about third base than almost anywhere else on the field to make those plays. That ball's coming at you hard from a right-hand batter. So, good play by Campbell.
Well, I haven't had this exact conversation with Jackson Campbell, but I feel comfortable saying that if I asked him about it, he'd tell me that he looks forward to baseball all year long in school. Despite an injury, he planned on giving us full effort for soccer, but I think that what he truly looks forward to is baseball, and he is just right in his element. He loves the game, and he does a great job.
Absolutely. Simon went down looking for the second out of the inning there, and that's 3 strikeouts total from Evan Tippanyuk this game. Swing and a miss.
Bottom of the fifth inning, leading us off, Braden Tippanyuk, catcher for the Pioneer Panthers.
Tippanyuk scored 3 runs already. Takes a ball outside there for strike 1. He's doing what a leadoff hitter needs to do, which is reach base any way possible. So far he's reached on 2 walks and a hit by pitch.
Boy, a rough bounce there for the catch.
Next up for the Panthers, third baseman Jackson Campbell made 2 nice plays last inning. Campbell fouls off the first pitch. Puts down a bunt. Bunted foul.
Boy, that wind is coming in fierce.
Punted to second. Soft line drive. Second baseman easily makes the play. 1 down.
Smart base running by Braden Tippanyuk on that one. You have a soft fly like that to second base. Could have turned into an easy double play.
Back up for the Panthers, shortstop Alex McClelland. McClelland has tripled and walked. He's 1 for 2 on the day with 2 runs scored. And we got the Panthers Tippanyuk advancing to second on a throw down to first that did not make it to the first baseman. Hits it hard into left field. Base hit for Green. Back to the top of the order for the Eagles, left fielder Jason Sigda. In the dirt for a ball. 1-1 to Sigda. In the air, in the infield, shortstop's got it. I think the infield fly rule probably comes into effect there, although it was on the cusp of the outfield, so hard to say. I couldn't see how the umps called it. Now up, Pat Larson, who gave the Eagles a couple innings on the mound. He homered in the second to put the Eagles up for a moment. That's a throw down to first, but he's back safely. Another infield fly. And and the second baseman's got it. And that's the end of the 6th inning. Panthers are up 14-5.
I'd say things have stalled after the 3rd inning. No one has put any more runs up on the board since the 3rd inning.
Yeah, it really quieted down after an active first third of the game. And that's fine by me, because otherwise this game would go for 3 hours. But, you know, the pitchers have found the zone. The fielders have been doing their job. So up for the Panthers is left fielder Ethan Matthey. And that's going to be a base hit into left field. Got by the 3rd baseman. Matthey's safe at first. Grounder to short, and the throw is wide of the first baseman. Mouthie's going to take 3rd, and Judah Glenn is going to take 2nd.
Definitely great seeing Judah Glenn having an opportunity both on defense and offense.
Yeah, his speed again came into play. The shortstop had to charge that ball, and it was gonna be a close play either way. I think Glenn might have beat it out, but obviously the throw was wide of the mark.
A little chat needing to be had on the mound for the Eagles. Just looking to settle things down.
Yeah, you know, a couple well-hit balls, but nothing crazy so far this inning. But we do have Panthers do have runners on 2nd and 3rd with no outs. Mulally on the mound for the Eagles. Designated hitter Brody. Oh wait! Before I speak, is this one of the? Is this
this
Hayden
is
Girard?
Hayden Girard.
Yeah.
Which previously was playing right field and batting for Hayden Girard was Brody Welcome. So I'm going to take a stab at it, and Hayden Girard, who has since been moved to center field, is batting for Brody Welcome.
There we go. Ball inside, gets away from the catcher. We might have a play at the plate, but it's not close. Panthers score another. Glenn reaches third.
And with that scored run, we are looking at the 10-run rule, I think. And that is the ball game.
Good game from the Eagles. They, got out early, put some runs on the board right away, had some momentum for the first couple innings, but then the Panthers almost batted around in the second and did bat around in the third and put most of their runs on the plate, and it was going to be tough for the Eagles to come back from that.
Well, Pioneer is just a dominating force with the batting. They've just all season long, they've been putting up, many of their games have been double-digit numbers for sure. And whether or not that's from steals, walks, runs, they're a formidable team. They've proven themselves this game and all season long why they're now 17-0, finishing out the regular season. Well, no, excuse me. They still have one more game against Drury tomorrow, but sitting at 17-0, they really proved themselves today.
It's going to be an interesting game away at Drury tomorrow. Too bad that BNC-TV won't be able to be there, but look forward to hearing about that, whether Pioneer can retain their undefeated status against one of their big rivals. But BNC-TV will be there for playoff games coming in soon enough.
Yeah, and I was asking around about when information will be coming out about that, and you can always Google the PVIAC and be updated just as quickly as we are, as we keep monitoring that and refreshing the page over and over again throughout the weekend. But it's my understanding that because of so many rain games, they have pushed off regular season opportunities into early next week. So we may not be finding out what the rankings are and what the Western Mass tournament brackets are going to be until possibly Monday or even Tuesday. And once we find that out, it's always going to be about a 48-hour window to figure out who we're playing where and when.
Well, it's been a pleasure on this Friday afternoon getting a chance to join you, Tyler. It's my first game of the year, but hopefully not my last.
Oh, thank you so much for being out here and keeping some extra details while I fiddle with all of the
all
of the fun technical stuff that happens, the ups and downs.
For any of you guys who don't know, Tyler's basically a one-man band here. Even when he has help from me or Lou, he's still a one-man band. He's switching the camera, he's doing the graphics, and pulling his weight.
You guys make it sound good and make it enjoyable to listen to, and I can focus on fixing all the problems that come up, and I'm more than happy to cut off one of my many arms, so to speak.
And with Pioneer playing the way they do, it's a pleasure. Like you said, they really have played a well-rounded game here. Ethan Tippanyuk, after a rocky start, once he found the plate, he got some good innings in for the Panthers. The Panthers at the plate had a good eye to start off the game, but then they really started punching the ball around the field, hitting to all fields, and their defense was really solid too. So you know, there's a reason. There's a reason that they're undefeated.
For sure. Oh, yeah. And, having to shuffle things around, I mean, we saw the wholesale changes that we were seeing today. When you have a lead and you have an opportunity to switch some things around, but even at the beginning of the game, Evan Tipeniuk is not usually somebody that's going to start off a game. He's usually a very crucial player over at first base. Jack Glazier filled in those shoes perfectly today. Evan, had some rough points while the Eagles were getting their bats going, and they had the lead early on, but Pioneer was up to the task, and they liked that challenge of taking back the lead, and they did so. So, fantastic game. I'm happy to be here, and this will be the final game that BNC TV covers of the regular season. Again, stay tuned. When we know what we can cover for Western Mass, we'll make sure to post it on YouTube, post it on our website, and you will see that there. But with that, Otis Wheeler, Tyler Borbo, thank you so much for stopping by, and we will see you next time.
Hey!